This is a disaster for the Copenhagen Wolves. The Nexus is going down. The Wolves are running home with their tails between their legs. And on the side of Gambit, struggles all around. 0-5 is not the way to start.
We just said it doesn't have to be like this.
And Gambit Gaming have finally gotten on the board.
This is the fight that wins Gambit their 5th game in a row.
Freeze, a quadra kill. I don't believe it. He gets that one.
We saw mistakes and we tried to improve on them.
The Nexus is going down, and the Copenhagen Wolves are victorious.
Wolves are playing Gambit. You guys are both on a hot streak. So how are you both looking forward to that one?
Well, statistically, we have the lead. We won the first game, so it's only natural that we're going to win the second one.
And there is Diamond with the ultimate. They're going to look for the fight here. Soul Shackles is out. Here comes Combo Shard right into the middle. Finds Unlimited. Oh my goodness. Gambit Gaming. They're looking to snap this win streak from the Copenhagen Wolves. And they have done it right about now. What a win.
Welcome back to Week 6 of the European League Championship Series. We're coming to you live from Berlin, Germany, where moments ago we saw the action getting underway here in the studio as we saw a bunch of Irish fans starting the party.
Including a Sheen from 4Nation.
Wow, and here H2K coming in the building, Lulex, Yarden, they're pumped up. Raymond behind him, Raymond Kasing, of course, not missed by his first name. They're the Giants setting up on stage as they will be facing H2K in that first game of the day, looking for a victory there, of course, for them. I'm EpicSkillshot, and there are my colleagues adjusting each other's ties because apparently they can't do it themselves. Well, I'm EpicSkillshot here at the Analyst Desk with Trevor Quickshot Henry, and joining us is Carl Cry, coach for the Copenhagen Wolves, or as he is better known, Dentist.
Thank you very much for having me again, and holy Pilzer, Deficio, step up your style. You are in the top 5. I expected something better, dude.
LCS Ties has got them eyes on that as well. With just 3.5 weeks left in the split, here's how the league stands. The top of the table is no longer a lonely place for SK Gaming. We're now joined in the #1 spot by Fnatic. H2K is just a game behind them in 3rd, while the Copenhagen Wolves, Gambit, and the Unicorns of Love are tied up in 4th with 6 wins each. Now towards the bottom of the table, Meet Your Makers is in dire straits with only 1 win to their name, so they'll need to kick into high gear into the end of the split if they want to avoid automatic relegation to the Challenger Series. Looking at those standings, of course, Copenhagen Wolves and Gambit in a good position. Yesterday, you did lose to them, and in the bit before you said, statistically, it's on us. So what happened in the game?
Yeah, statistics lie, as you could see. But overall, it was a great game to watch, especially for the audience. I enjoyed watching the game. The first 50 minutes were totally open. We had a slight lead, and the transition failed. And Gambit just played it out perfectly. They played to their strengths, and they overcome ours. So it was a deserved victory, after all.
Yeah, I actually have to mirror that sentiment. When you look at the game yesterday, you compare Gambit and Copenhagen Wolves 3 weeks ago when you last played, it was like watching 2 different teams. The decision-making, the teamwork, the team fights, everything was fantastic. Unfortunately, one team had to lose. It was the Copenhagen Wolves. But Gambit, they're 6-0 now.
Yep.
It's one of the best winning streaks that we've had. Unfortunately, again, you know, Copenhagen Wolves winning streak ended, but it was just a great elevation of game.
Great level of play, and talking about things that are completely different since 3 weeks ago. SK went from going 8-0 to 0-3 yesterday, not being able to win against versus the Unicorns of Love. Teams seem to have figured them out for now, Dentist.
Well, if you have the stigma to be unbeatable, as SK had after that first incredible start, once you lose that first game, maybe your confidence falls off a bit. So that might be one reason. And another reason is, with the coaches coming in, with all the analysts and all the staff behind the teams, people figured out the way SK played. And maybe that, combine that with the confidence, and you got a losing team.
Yeah, I got nothing else to add. I think the teams that are prepping for SK are finding out how to exploit their weaknesses.
They're now joined at the top of the table by Fnatic, and I think it was you, Trevor, a couple of weeks ago that said I think the skill ceiling of Fnatic might be higher, and they did show a lot of strategic diversity yesterday in their game as well.
Yeah, they really did. Fnatic, for the first time, was successful with a non-pick-oriented team comp. They had a reactionary team fight. They really wanted Giants to jump onto them and then zone them away with Alistair, with Nunu, and you know, they made it work. I do think, again, it was against one of the weaker teams in the LCS, Giants, in the running for that 8th, 9th, 10th position. But what matters for Fnatic is they pulled it off, they were successful, and they can use that going forward.
You can't underestimate any team. Giants is definitely a team that could take off a win off of Fnatic. But Fnatic, the Kalista Alistair was just incredibly strong. And combine that with the zoning potential of the Nunu and the team fight they played out, it was just perfectly played out.
Yeah, two other teams that also continue to impress, I should say, are the Unicorns of Love and H2K. Maybe H2K even more, keeping that winning streak alive, and just as a team doing so well. Those new two teams coming out of Challenger just wrecking face.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you look at the two, Unicorns are consistently inconsistent. They've got these fantastic games and then they've got these fantastic losses. Whereas H2K, I think, are closer to the Wolves and to Gambit because they're showing a much higher consistent level of play. I really think H2K could be even more of an outlier because you don't necessarily think they're as dominant as the Wolves or Gambit have been in the most recent weeks.
Absolutely, but the Unicorns yesterday, they channeled their inner animal, as you could see before the game. And if you channel your inner animal, you're going to win. There's like no question.
Well,
Just a wolf.
There we go then. Now that we're all caught up, let's turn to today's games. Up first in just a few minutes, H2K will face Giants Gaming. The Fnatic will take on the Copenhagen Wolves, and SK will go up against Elements. And of course, Dentist, we have you here, so we have to ask you about that matchup versus Fnatic. A good game to get back in the saddle, but a hard one.
It will be a good game, like, for that we're sure. We got two super prepared teams, and they're going to face off and both give their best. We are good prepared, as far as I can tell, and we go into the game as a confident team, as confident Wolves. So I'd say it's interesting. I can't really say how it's going to turn out. It depends on a lot of factors, but we're confident and we have the chance to win.
We'll see how that one turns out. For more information on the schedule as we close in on the Spring Split playoffs, load up lolesports.com, and while you're there, you can catch up on past matches from around the world, keep tabs on roster changes, and much, much more. So get your butt over there. Now, as our coaches, we continue as we're leaving our guests open to you. Tweet your questions for the men behind the scenes of the European LCS at LoL Esports with the hashtag #AskACoach, and we'll ask some of them on the desk later today, and maybe Dentist gets to answer some of your questions. But with the teams ready on stage, let's get into our first matchup of the day.